Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to continue on our targeted individual handbook. And what's next to cover now is the part where it's asking who. So there's like a little picture. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's like Crime Watch and stuff. But anyways, so this is the part that says about who is in charge of this. And first, this one is kind of funny. It says, Jews are behind the whole thing, by Ellen, quote by Ellen Landis, who's a targeted individual and a Jew. Additionally, let's see, it says, many people will be recruited to participate. The idea is that you get as many people as possible to participate in the torture. The logic is that the more people you can co-op, the more assistance you have for covering it up. And that's totally true. So, I'm not sure if you have seen the YouTube channel, The Most Popular Girls in High School. It's like this stop and go animation series that it's like really vulgar. So, it says, so there's a part when they're like in third grade. This is going to be relevant in a second. When they're in third grade, and then they're trying to recruit Brittany Matthews, who's like super violent, like total psychopath. She got like just expelled from her school. But then they're telling Brittany Matthews that if she has friends, if she has them as friends, Mackenzie Sales and Rachel Tice and what's the name of the other one? Rachel Tice, Mackenzie Sales, and Shay Van Buren, that they can get what's her face, Brittany Matthews out of every trouble or out of any type of trouble. So then, they set her up to like get in a fight to fight someone, but then one girl provides a cover story, the other one becomes the witness, even though they weren't. They were witnesses, but they were the ones that set up the entire altercation. But each of them is taking a part in covering the story. Like one is saying, "Oh yeah, I saw the whole thing," and then the other one is saying, "Oh yeah, she did it to defend me," and then the other one, and then the other one was just like the mastermind. So this is what happens with gang stalking: is that people will take, if there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh yeah, I saw the whole thing, that never happened," or that person's crazy, then regardless of how much you fight it, you are gonna appear crazy. Like someone's gonna say, "Oh yeah, he's crazy. He's a drug user. Oh yeah, I saw him doing this. Oh yeah, he does that. He does that," and everyone is gonna have something negative to say about you. So whenever you start fighting it, you're just gonna appear like crazy because everyone around you has the cover story, you know. So next, it says, why do they participate? So this is it. This is what it says. Why do they participate? And who are they exactly? So the participants are colloquially called perps, short for perpetrators. I had no idea that a perp was a perpetrator. I always wondered what the hell a perp was, and I always thought it had to do like it was like almost like a form of endearment. You know how like Peeps, like the marshmallow candy. I thought it was something like along those lines, but I guess it's something more serious. Means perpetrator. I had no idea. So now, short for perpetrators, as they are complicit in the perpetration of terrorism against others, which they often rationalize as safety and security, upholding what they have been conditioned by the media to view as a noble cause. Their ulterior motive that they may conceal even from themselves is power, material rewards, social prestige, and a feeling of belonging. Monetary stipends, drugs, reduced jail sentences, employment or promotion opportunities in their organization or groups such as churches or Antifa. But I believe the tests that are giving to our recruited perps is not to show that they are special in the normal means, but special because they meet specific psychopathological profiles, which makes them excellent candidates. To be recruited, that they are distinct pathologies about the recruits that must be present in them that they exhibit various traits that are necessary in order to target innocent human beings without question, without reservation, without remorse, and most of all, without regard for the human life and or humanity of the targeted individual. Victim. So then there is a list of all the profiles. So this is pretty long. Are you ready? So let's start. Antisocial personality disorders, aka psychopath and sociopaths. Antisocial personality disorder symptoms may include disregard for right and wrong, persisting lying or deceit, using charm or wit to manipulate others, reoccurring difficulties with the law, repeating violating the rights of others, child abuse or neglect, intimidation of others, aggressive or violent behavior, lack of remorse about harming others, impulsive behavior, agitation, poor or abusive relationships, irresponsible work behavior, narcissistic personalities. Narcissistic personality disorders is characterized by dramatic emotional behavior, which is in the same category as antisocial or borderline personality disorders. Narcissistic personality disorder symptoms may include believing that they are better than others, fantasizing about power, success, and attractiveness, exaggerating your achievements or talents, expecting constant praise and admiration, believing that you are special and acting accordingly, failing to recognize other people's emotions and feelings, expecting others to go along with your ideas and plans, taking advantage of others, expressing disdain for those you feel are inferior. I highlighted that because that's really important. Being jealous of others, believing that others are jealous of you, trouble keeping healthy relationships, setting unrealistic goals. So setting unrealistic goals, I don't think is a narcissistic trait. I mean, there's like a popular saying that says, shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, and you can possibly reach the moon, or something along those lines. So I really don't believe that shooting for something magnanimous and grandiose, it makes you narcissistic. It just means that you kind of have a vision, which, I mean, it just, if you have a mission, a vision, and you believe that you have what it takes to make it true, I don't think that is a trait of someone narcissistic. I believe that is a trait of someone who has goals, who has a vision, who has potential that they feel that they have, but they just haven't been able to explore yet. I don't believe that that's really a trait of being a narcissist. Being easily hurt and rejected. And no, I mean, being easily rejected, that just means that you can be easily dismissed, or maybe being easily hurt about rejection. I mean, but this is when, so the feeling hurt about being rejected from someone who is normal and from someone who is a narcissistic sociopath is very different. If you reject someone who is normal, they're gonna do two things depending on how controlled they are about themselves. One, if they can be either like okay, all right, thank you, and then maybe they just feel that knot in their throat, that negative sensation, and then they leave. They probably feel bad for a little bit, but they get over it. That's normal. Then there's the other one where they just feel sad, get depressed. That's fine. They're gonna get over it. But the narcissistic or sociopath's rejection, their take of rejection, is that they're gonna hate you, and then they villainize you and they antagonize you in every single way, shape, and form. Like if they see you eating chicken, they're gonna be like, "Why are you eating chicken, bitch?" Like they're like mad, about anything that you do. So that's that. There's a huge difference from a rejecting a narcissistic individual and rejecting someone who's normal. Now, having a fragile self-esteem, you don't have to be a narcissist to have a fragile self-esteem. Most people's self-esteem is very fragile. I mean, fragile is so by being by having a fragile. I think this person needs to like elaborate a little bit more on what it is to be like a sociopath or whatever, or have a narcissistic trait. So, whenever you're talking about having a fragile self-esteem, that just means like this is how I notice the self-esteem of narcissistic people is that, let's say that you have really white teeth, right? And your teeth, well, I'm gonna actually tell you something that happened to me with an ex. So someone asked me how are your teeth so white, and I was like, oh yeah, I use this Crest Ultimate strips that they sell on Amazon for $100. Use it for like for a month, like twice a day, and then your teeth are gonna be like incredibly and glamorously white and bright. So then like so my ex, like the same day, but when we got home, he told me, you're not supposed to say that. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you tell me you just brush every day. And just, well, so just, I'm gonna tell you something. So I have an obsession with having my teeth very, very white and very, very straight. Because when I was a kid, well, I didn't smile comfortably until I was 18 years old. Because my teeth were so bad. Like I had like all my canines, they were like up here, like almost like they were moving my lips upwards. My bottom ones, they were like literally like they were like down below. I had like a premolar like all the way in the back. My teeth were really bad, like awfully bad. So then I promised myself that whenever they were straight, and that I would have them as white as possible, and that I would, so that I could smile comfortably to make up for the first, I don't know, 10 years that I was super self-conscious about smiling. So that's why actually I have my expression lines here. I have them really like deep because I smile so much. Anyways, so yeah, so my ex, he told me, well, you're not really supposed to say that. So then I was like, okay, sure, whatever. So like someone else asked me the same thing, and my ex was there, and he literally, and the person said, oh, how do you keep your teeth so white? And then I follow my ex's advice. I'm supposed to trust him because he's like my ex, or at that point he was my boyfriend. And I told him, well, I just brush them every day. And he said, you liar, you whiten your teeth, and you use the white strips from Amazon, and blah, blah. And I was like, he was trying to like make me look bad. So then I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You're the one that told me to tell everyone who asked me that I just brushed my teeth. And then he just like stayed quiet. Like he was literally trying to make me feel bad for following his advice. So that is something that narcissistic people will do. It was a little setup. It was a fucking setup. But and I don't know why. I have never been a person to like actually talk back like that. But that just pissed me off, and I defend my teeth with like with everything I have, because it costed me a lot of work and a lot of sensitivity from the fucking whitening. So yeah, I just immediately just came with a comeback. You're the one that told me to tell anyone who asked me to about my teeth, to not tell them about the teeth whitening strips, but about the toothbrushing. I should have just broken up with him then. That was fucking missed foreshadowing. He was the biggest narcissistic person ever. He was the one that introduced me back into crystal meth when I had been clean for 10 years. And guess what? When I relapsed, he left and he told everyone that I became a drug addict on my own. Fucking asshole, dude. His name is Dan DeLeon, and he's a big DJ. But be it as it may, be it as much of an awful person as he is, he actually has talent. He was my favorite DJ before I met him. Now I blocked his name is Daniel Eberhard, Daniel Eberhard, Daniel Dan De Leon, DJDanielDeLeon.com or some shit like that. Oh, I was furious for like 5 years, man, because he just played me so dirty. I think that the whole gang sucking thing has to do with him too, by the way, because I told his mom everything that he did to me, and I guess, yeah, and that was freaking, I was just mad. Like, I wanted like payback, so I just told his mom about all the drugs, about everything that he did to me, that he was a reason that I became homeless. It was awful. But yeah, that's it. I feel like my whole gang stalking situation still has to do with him, because like I got him hard, and he's pretty much like the biggest narcissistic person I have ever met. But I mean, I don't care anymore. So whatever. Anyways, so a person, coming back to topic. So a person who is narcissistic, that has their ego so volatile. What happened is that if you have something such as straight and white teeth, and the person who is the narcissist doesn't, they're gonna try to take that away from you one way or another. So they're gonna try, because they take it as a threat to their self-esteem. So like this person tried to, so like my ex tried to take my pride that I have from my teeth, from all the years of wearing braces, by making me almost feel ashamed of them being so white, via that type of trickery. You see that? And that's so the reason that I think that my whole gang stalking situation actually has to go with him, because everything has to do with taking away what he didn't have, which was like, well, everything. I had everything, literally I had everything. But but he's always been a hateful person, and I didn't see it. I was just so blindsided by how in love I was. As much as it hurts me, as it fucking pains me to admit it. But I love that asshole. But now, I mean, I don't care anymore. I'm over it. Now, I just remember the good times, which were incredible times. Like, the good times were really, really, really amazing. Anyways, so disdain for those who feel inferior, being jealous of others, all fragile self-esteem, and lastly, appearing as tough-minded or unemotional. So narcissistic people are everything but tough-minded and unemotional. They are incredibly angry people. And their most powerful. Look, in Kabbalah, when Kabbalah scripture talks about what we are, and it just tells us that we are like a ball of characteristics, like emotion, type of personality characteristics, and some are higher than the other, but gang stalkers, people with narcissistic traits, tough-mindedness is super low. They're not toughly minded. They're in fact super vulnerable to any type of indirect representation of what they are, of any type of aggression, intentional or unintentional. And they're not unemotional. They're incredibly emotional. but they are emotionally manipulative, so that they don't see you like a person. They see you like a dog, that can be like trained to do things. Literally, quite literally. Oh, I don't even want to think about this. I'm gonna tell you more about that story later, because there is a delusion that I had about my ex that was fucking cool. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. So this is what's next. There is an endless stream of who the perps are. But from my own experience in targeting, it is a combination of several different citizen organizations and or groups who are psychologically manipulated into participation, hence community-based bullying. A mix of people who are obedient to authority, followers, and have their own internal demons to slay, and can easily be manipulated by the leaders within their respective organizations and or belief systems by the slanderous and libelous propaganda sold to them, in order to manipulate them into becoming vigilante haters who act upon that hate via organized stalking and electronic harassment. So there is no such thing as electronic harassment. Electronic harassment is a product of organized stalking, just so you know. It's a byproduct of it. It's the goal. So the recruits come from all walks and beliefs, to include no beliefs at all. What all recruits share in common is their blind obedience to authority and their willingness to buy into propaganda, smear campaigns, slander, and libel of other human beings, but most of all are easily psychologically manipulated by those who lead them. So, I want to tell you something about character assassination and the slandering campaign. Listen, the slandering campaign is a lot less powerful than what we typically believe. So first, just know that people are going to treat you how they see you. And this is the thing, is that there's people who are going to judge you immediately when they are told something about you. But in the short term, if you do something to vocally or obtusely contradict the slandering campaign, it's gonna make it obvious that you're fighting the rumors. The only thing that you do, so like, you have to not allow the slandering campaign to affect you. You have to literally not care, because people are never gonna tell you what is being slandered about you to you. So you truly never ever know if they have been told this about you or not. Even if they treat you differently, maybe they heard something, even if they heard, they're never gonna, most people are not gonna, oh man, my mind is contradicting what I'm saying right now. Well, people who matter in your life are not really gonna believe anything that other people are talking about you unless they see you do it. So the people who are easily made to believe what others are saying about you and immediately act upon it is because they are part of the problem. They are probably gang stalkers, because gang stalkers, that's how they operate. So the moment that something is being said about you, the only thing that you have to do is simply ignore it, not care, and keep on with your life. Because if you keep focusing on what other people are saying about you, your life is gonna be awful. Seriously. So if they say things about work, they cannot, like, where it matters, there's laws protecting you. For example, if it matters at work, guess what? There has to be evidence, or they have to be Scientologists, you know. But otherwise, whatever the rumor is that is being said about you, it doesn't really matter. You just go there, do your job. People who believe you, who believe that, are not really your friends. They're only acquaintances. And the people who actually have a mind of their own are going to look at everything and question whatever this person is saying about you. So, oh man, so we're already going on to the topic of narcissism. We're gonna cover that another time. Anyways, so going back to the perps, there is an endless stream of the perps. No, there is an endless stream of who the perps are. But from my own experience in targeting, it is a combination of several citizen organizational groups that are psychologically manipulated into participation, hence community-based bullying. A mix of people who are obedient to authority, followers. They already went to this. Okay, the recruits come from all walks of and beliefs, to include no beliefs at all. What all recruits share in common is their blind obedience to authority and their willingness to buy into propaganda, smear campaigns, slander, and libel of another human being. But most of all are easily psychologically manipulated by those who lead them. Most people are psychologically manipulated, are easily psychologically manipulated. That's the truth. Unless they have experience manipulating people, they will not be easily manipulated. Or unless they have been manipulated a lot and they just grew, some calluses or experience with manipulation, such as moi. They will use whatever weapons organized terrorist leaders hand over and fire them whenever they get a chance. No. Psychological weapons, maybe, but never physical. These recruits have a warlike mentality and are pack-oriented who only seek to destroy human lives. No. Most people are just following what the community is doing. So, on the next video, we're gonna cover about the three types of perps and a short description of them. All right. After that, we're gonna go. We're gonna have another video about the solutions for targeted individuals. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.